it, and who else?
All the old Dagos.
Tony, yeah, all of them. Tony Rossi and Tony Darrow, and Robert Samuels directed it. And it's just a really fun, silly, like crazy movie. And we had a great time. And it's
the part that that Theresa was born to play also would have been the Marissa Tomei. And Joe Pesci movie.
Yeah. The My Cousin Vinny.
Yeah.
I love her. Marissa Tomei is so brilliant.
I mean, it's so fun. But like, if they were to redo that now, like you are,
yes,
that's you.
Your lips to God's ear. Yes,
you.
Agreed. In 2 seconds. That's
all you. Like, that's what's the thing? Like the torque on the car. Like you can. I can almost recite the words in that goddamn movie.
Totally.
It was one of the best.
I do a lot of my auditions are in that like realm for a while, like that sort of like Italian American thing.
It's you have the look too. You know what I mean? It's you are Italian princess.
Yeah, it's
like
great.
It's all
great.
you.
It's fun.
And you probably would get typecast in those roles, but that's
please.
Okay.
Hey, typecast is still cast. My God, right. I always say like,
and there's so many of those roles that you would fit.
It's fun. Yeah,
it's not like it's just a little niche. I mean, there's a lot of movies that have
they make, oh my God, they make stuff all the time. Yeah. So I'm auditioning all the time, not so much pregnant. I had a couple roles that I auditioned for as pregnant women, which was interesting because it was like the universe.
Tell the story about the last one where they wanted you to have a toddler.
Oh yeah, there was one. They were like interested in me doing it, and then they were like, "Oh wait, but do you also have a toddler?" Like they were ideally wanted a pregnant woman that had a toddler, and I was like, "Oh no, I have," and I responded, I said, "Well, no, I have a small dog." I don't know why I thought that would help. Like I was like, "Oh, no other toddler, just the baby in my belly." But I have a small 5-pound black Pomeranian. Like, imagine them being like, "Well, that'll do."
Right, but didn't they have you waitlisted on that? Like, you were like, "Oh my gosh, I think I'm getting."
I was like, "Oh, good, I'm gonna get it." And I really, really wanted to shoot something pregnant, like a movie.
And then she was like,
and then they were like, "They want me to have a toddler."
No, thank God, I don't have a toddler.
Right, that's what Cindy said. She was like, "Actually, you're probably better off that you don't have a toddler."
Thank God you didn't have a fucking toddler and you're pregnant. So
that's also very true. But yeah, so still working away at it. I studied with Susan Batson after college, so I did the real proper like method intense actor training. Like my husband knows that I'm a crazy weirdo artist. And then just always film, TV is most of my auditions, ton of voiceover work, commercials and whatnot. And then
you were the voice of Kaufman's.
Macy's.
Macy's. Oh my God, I'm aging myself. Do you know
Cindy's
I worked
93 and
I'm not joking. I worked for Sibley's. I worked for Sibley's for years. Then it turned into Kaufman's, and then it turned into Macy's.
I love it. Yeah, Macy's is. I did Macy's, Ulta, Downey, Folgers, all kinds of just my voice being
just
like
her voice. Isn't that crazy?
The best part of waking
so
up
much fucking voiceover work.
I love it. I love voiceover. It's so fun. It's so much fun.
I've never realized every time I hear commercials now, because these are things you never really
you don't think about it until you're doing it. Now I know the people. I can be like, "Oh, that's my friend. That's my friend. That's my friend."
Yeah, it's a very small market of you guys that are just really good at it.
It's small.
Right?
Yeah, it's really small, and it's all SAG, so it's similar to an acting job. When I started doing voiceover, it was one of those like a lot of my stories are very like I joke with my husband that the way I make money is by crossing my fingers and closing my eyes real tight. Like, because I just kind of, while I have my training and whatnot, it's like so much of our business is left up to luck and being in the right place at the right time. And at the time I did not have a voiceover agent, and I had auditioned for them a handful of times through my commercial agency, but my manager wanted to get me back to New York or LA. I was traveling for a different job at the time. And he said, "Oh, why don't you do voiceover? You have a voiceover agent? You must already." And I was like, no, I don't have one. He's like, "Oh, let me get you one. I'll introduce you to my friend." So long story short, I work with Access Talent with Linda Weaver and Chaz Cowling, and they are like, my voiceover agent is like I love her to death. She's the best. But I met her and she said, the hard-headed Italian American in me, she said, "Oh, do you have a demo reel?" I didn't even know what that was. I was like, "What's a demo?" I have a reel, like a acting reel. Like, no. She's like, a voiceover demo. And me's hard-headed. I just say, yeah. No, I have one. I could send it to you later. And she was like, oh, great. You want us to just send it over later? And now, mind you, this woman knew I didn't even work in this piece of the business. So she easily could have been like, I could have just been like, no, how do I make one? How do I have it? You know?
Or at least she could have said, listen, we need this real. I don't know if you have it. Let's be honest.
No. No, I just said, yep, no, I have it. I'll get that to you ASAP. So I went home that night and I downloaded an app on my iPhone to record into. And I found 5 commercials because I'd done commercials my whole life. So I found 5 commercials and I didn't know how to edit. So I just said my name and then I did the commercials 5 in a row until I could get them perfect, all of them, because I didn't know how to go back and edit anything. Wow.
Oh, right. You just had to keep reciting.
So I was like, Diet Coke. And then I had to be like, BMW. Like I was just trying to like, you know. So come to find out demos, now my demo is obviously like a professional demo, but they had music that you think I would have Googled somebody's demo? No, I just went home, took what I exactly thought it would sound like and made one on my iPhone. No music. My pacing was off. Like it was like, I mean, hindsight, this woman should have said, you're very sweet. Please never come in the office again. And for whatever reason, because we really hit it off, for whatever reason, she was like, I can work with this. All right. And then, you know, I, of course, took a class, got a job, but I got some jobs pretty quickly. So I got very lucky in voiceover early.
Well, you have the gift to fucking gab and do, I mean, that's a gift. I mean, I could not
never run out of breath.
No, it is. I mean, to walk into a room and they hand you this and you've got to literally just like scan it and then
totally. But I think because I was so at the end of the day, voiceover, whenever people ask me how do I get into voiceover, they say I got a good voice. I want to do voiceover. It's just acting. Mm-hmm. You need an acting class, an acting background. So I could do all those commercials because I did commercials my whole life. So it's like, yeah, all of a sudden my face isn't in them, but it was the same approach to breaking down the script and looking through it and knowing the vibe they want. You just have to make it come out of your voice. So sometimes voiceover is just a little, for lack of a better word, like bigger, like something you might do on camera. Like you could do a really slow, tiny wink and you'll see it on camera. The camera makes everything huge. But with voiceover, you got to like to hear the wink in your voice, you got to like hit it a little harder kind of thing. But yeah, so I always like, and then, you know, thankfully found some success with this agency. So I'm still with them now and just always, you know, auditioning and doing all kinds of things. And it's really great. It's really great because I'm pregnant, so I can keep doing it. And then, yeah, the baby comes out and it's pilot season, baby.
I know she was like this.
How do you manage your time? I'm like so exhausted just listening. You're like, I'm doing some films. Yeah. I'm doing
and she's going to concerts. She's waddling down to where she's got on the long coat and the high top sneakers and she's marching through the village. I'm like, what are you? She's like, yeah, I got it. I'm like,
you're so funny, Sin. I don't know.
I have a desk job and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so tired.
I think because I'm
subway, like she's like out there. The bitch is out there.
I think I'm just lucky enough that I worked really, really, really hard in my 20s. And I still work hard now, but I gave up a lot of my 20s in pursuit of my art and in pursuit of my work. And so now that my work is what makes the money, I remember the first day I didn't need a bartending job anymore. I didn't need a waitressing job anymore. I could just be an actor. I could just be a model. I could just be, you know, the voiceover. And I'm so grateful.
We didn't even talk about all the modeling.
Yeah. Like I'm so grateful to be able to make money on my own with my art that I think it's like fun for me. I remember a story my husband told me. I was shooting this film in I guess it was like 2015, and we were doing overnights and I was modeling full time at the time. And the modeling stuff I used to do, I've always done on camera campaigns and commercials, but the modeling that I did the past like 4 years, I did a lot of production fit modeling. So I would be certain brands model almost daily or weekly and try on all the clothes and it was a great gig. And then I could do stand-up shows at night. I could do auditions in the afternoon. So I was modeling full time, essentially like 9 to 6. And then I was shooting this movie and it was a small indie film. So I was only on set for maybe 6 or 7 days, but it was overnights because it was, we were shooting on this like highway in Queens. So it had to be closed down. It was this whole thing.
It's expensive to do that shit during the day.
So I remember I was doing overnights and then I would literally like sleep for 1 or 2 hours. I'd get home like 6. I'd have to be back up to go. And I was like high because I was like, I'm in a movie. So I was like, and my husband was getting ready to propose. He was only my boyfriend at the time. And he always tells the story. He thought I found the ring and like found out about the proposal because he said I was so excited and energized and like high on life that he thought I knew like that the proposal was coming. So, but really I was just like, I just love to work. And in our business, like Cindy knows, in comedy or in anybody that's going to pay you for your art, pay you for your comedy, pay to put you in a movie, you're like, let's go. Like, that's all we want, is to just be able to do the work. We spend so much time auditioning and preparing and getting ready that when you're actually doing the work, that's the easy part. 15 hours on set, paid with food. I'm like, that's the easy thing. The hard thing was when I had
getting it.
I had a job at Victoria's Secret and I had to sneak out at lunch and get to the audition and prepare it and then find a way to buy my own lunch and try to get back to my apartment in the Bronx. Like, that's hard.
Yep. Nothing. It is. And I mean, I'm telling you, this is the difference that I've seen now looking at like really famous people like Adele. Okay, let's like Adele, for instance. She did this interview with
the most famous person in the world. She's like some really famous people. But Adele.
Let's just, I'm just using her example because it's recent. She was talking about how depressed she was.
Oh yeah.
How like she couldn't barely get out of bed. And you're thinking, you're Adele.
Right.
You have everything.
Literally anything in the world.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
But I'll tell you what, this business, if you're not depressed and fucked up, it will make you.
Oh yeah, completely. But if you're not depressed and fucked up, you leave. You give up. I remember
every comedian, I feel like, talks about how like they're demons and like
but
how they have narcissistic personality disorder.
If we didn't need the shot in the arm of the laugh, we'd be gone. We'd go live a normal life.
I have never felt more anxiety and like I feel like I have no self-worth sometimes now. I feel like bouts of depression. I feel extreme anxiety since I started doing comedy. I never felt this.
Right. Before. That's why you have to, and it's because that's the result, I think, sometimes of putting yourself out there and of really like trying something. And so many times I'll never forget, I was in acting class with Susan Batson, and she's one of the, greatest, probably one of the greatest actresses to ever exist, but is almost a better teacher than that. So it's like watching her act in anything is like incredible, but the teaching, the intuition, it's like, it's next level. But I remember somebody saying to her, people would audit the class sometime. If you weren't like full on drinking the Kool-Aid, sitting in the class, you might be like, let me audit the class. And I remember this woman was auditing the class and she really was earnest about her question, but she said, do you ever tell people that this isn't for them? Like they're doing it, they're trying the class, it's not really for them. And I'll never forget, Susan said, it's not for me to tell them. She said, but those people find their way out. They don't stay in this environment, in this industry that is so, I always describe the entertainment industry as one of the only industries where there's no rhyme or reason for the path or the ladder. There's no such thing as like somebody that becomes famous tomorrow has nothing to do with somebody that that never becomes famous. Some of the most talented actors I know aren't famous. They work regularly. Think
some of the greatest comedians
they're not famous.
They're not like, a perfect example right there, Jessica Kirsten. There's no, she should have 5 Netflix specials.
Right.
Really, there's
no rhyme or reason.
There isn't
any of it.
And then I can look at 10 comedians that do have Netflix specials and I'm like, holy shit, this is fucking horrible.
Right. But imagine someone that's that good never doing it just because there isn't the special or there isn't that. It's like, I always say, like, the way I think about it is like, I've tried all kinds of things. I've done all kinds of jobs. I've tried all kinds of, and I'm always back for more. It's always where I'm most comfortable is in the unknown, in the audition process, in the journey part of it. The cherry on top is shooting the film, going to the premiere, seeing the movie edited. That's all the cherry on top, because half the time I'm edited out. I've had tens of roles that I just show up to that movie theater like,